We have NiP and Dignitas ready here with the pistol on Dust 2. Dignitas starting off on the CT side, and it's quite tentative at the moment. Cajun B just with a short push for some info. And he's going to spot one player Exist down below. But NiP are playing really cautiously at the moment. It's only Exist that's actually even dared to show himself. NiP look ready to actually go for a quick push onto long.
Yeah, and Zipnik's the only one over in that position. Cajun's going to fall back now on catwalk, so at least he'll be home and able to support Zipnik. But here they come. Get Right, going to be the first one in. Not able to connect right away. Zipnik falls back, but they still press on. And they try and find that angle. Actually, they get smoked off, so that's going to slow them down a little bit. We'll see if they call for a rotation. Device is still in the middle with Carigan, and actually Dupree's going to go all the way through the tunnels right now. Might catch out on Forrest. Two men already down, though, for NiP, so a great start for Dignitas. Now they drop Forrest as well. Carigan's going to go into Mikulele, and it's all left on Mr. Freiberg to try and go 1v3. He is coming around from CT. He jumps up on top of the box, but he's got two players lurking in his angle. He's going to have to peek out accordingly. Try not to get limited, and watch out. There's the shot from long. Zipnik actually gets it from the platform in the end, but Dupree was there.
So really nice result there for Dignitas. And with the long pushes, if you get picked off, like a couple players get picked off like that, and then the smoke goes down, it's so hard. So that was really well managed by Dignitas there. And of course, you saw that they had the the push to try to like see.
And we're going to see a P29 or pardon me, a P90 all weekend.
Yeah, it's this is quite interesting actually. We're going to see NiP moving up with the pistol armor up for the fast cat push potentially here. And even if they decide to just swing back, like fake it and go for a quick cat drop, there's still going to be problems to Dignitas. Their players are kind of isolated. Cajun B's got to be careful. You can see him falling back there onto better angles. But this is actually a bomb plant here for NiP. Very well set up there. No one's dead just yet, and the bomb is planted. Anything now is a huge bonus for them. If they can get some extra economic damage in with frags, that would be excellent. But here comes Dignitas bearing down on the bomb site. As we see NiP going for the defense. There's just two of them left now.
Yeah, great execution to get those smokes into the site and get that bomb down. And as you say, with that plant and the number of kills, well, they've only got one on the board, truthfully. But by getting down to Dupree, they could potentially go for a buy in the next round. They're going to fall off. They don't want to drop those guns. They forced it, pick up that P90, and holding on to that Tech 9 allows them to go forward with that cash and they get the defused as a result. But a great eco round for sure. And they're not they're not quite close enough to buy. As you just take a peek, you can see Exist still down on 27, but they're getting closer, and actually Mikulele is going to be in a position to grab the AWP in the next round.
Exactly. I think that's the really huge difference there, is that fast AWP on NiP, and we're going to start to get to see how that dynamic has really changed. It used to be before the Mikulele era of NiP, we'd see mostly Forrest picking up the AWP on the T side. He'd be phenomenal with it, but he wouldn't really be the guy making the entries. He didn't have quite the same skill set as Mikulele, but I'll have to see if NiP can get some damage done with this. They can keep that economy honest for Dignitas with a couple, like 2 or 3 frags here. That's going to be a big result for them.
Freiberg's already taken damage from that nade from Zipnik out of CT spawn as he bounced it toward the mid doors. Bomb's in the hands of Forrest. He's coming back now from B tunnels. He was over in that direction, but it looks like they're going to try and go through mid. And they will smoke off CT spawn. And Freiberg's going to be the first one through. Zipnik's still down in CT spawn, though. This could be interesting.
Can they make this work? Can they get that frag onto Zipnik, who's sitting over by CT? In fact, they're kind of like falling back here. They have him behind the smoke. And so they've identified where Zipnik is playing now. So now they're going to go for a pretty fast cat push. There comes the smoke. Really nice smoke here. And Zipnik's coming in from below with the FAMAS. Does get returned upon, but Dignitas with all the weaponry, all the angles, and all the team play to lock this down as it tries to make its way onto that A-bomb site.
And Get Right, the last one left, will go down to that Tech 9, so 3-0 already to score, but here come the guns. And as I said, Mikulele going to be in a position, and yeah, there it is, pulling out the AWP already, so now we see real battle right now. The Ninjas trying to claw back into them. We'll see how effective they are at doing so. Device, though, meanwhile, does have the AWP out on the CT side as well.
Looks like he's actually looking towards long here, so I doubt we'll see a... okay, we're seeing the Forrest AWPing as well. He's going to take that for a timing onto B, whilst Mikulele puts some damage in. Does even get a tag onto Dupree there. So we're going to see if Forrest can actually pull off a frag here. He's got an angle, and if Dupree's not careful, he's going to get his headshot off here. Do they read that there's 2 AWPs here for NiP? That is a good question. And Dignitas, the one thing about them, then their lineup is just insane levels of individual skill. They are amazing at these one-on-ones. But here comes Freiberg.
Well, there's one of those one-on-ones right there, and Freiberg gets the better of it. Zipnik down. They will smoke off the CT, and this time Thought they might have last time, but this time they will go toward B from middle. Freiburg going to be the first one in, popping that flash. And in the back of the site, Dupree gets caught out by Forrest, so there's that second off coming on into play. As now they're all going down as Get Right catches out Device, all the way lurking out. But watch out, why is the bomb in middle, and why is Cajun B pushed up onto it? He's got control of it. Bit of a misplay by NiP, but Michaeli doesn't care. He's going to just put him down into the grave, and they will get that gun round.
Yeah, so Freiburg doing what Freiburg does best, getting the entries, and he's always a player to look out for. He's so phenomenal on just like creating these opportunities up middle, or actually being the guy to actually push up Cat. Although that said, depending on the CT setup, sometimes they might actually make Michaeli be that guy, try to get those awesome angles with the AWP on some of these Cat pushes. But regardless, here we go. Another Byron coming in here. Carigan close to double doors here, as we are going to see a pretty natural spread from NiP right now. It's a very default kind of setup. Going to try to bring themselves into middle and Cat control and then build from there. To see how that goes.
Yeah, Carigan in a tight situation as they've got him smoked, and they were spamming away just to his left, so he couldn't really back out of that close angle either. He's down to 57 HP as a result, but it's NiP who takes the brunt of the damage. 65 for Existence, 50 on Forrest.
Freiburg up on Cat right now. You can see him clearing angles very, very slowly, as also the same is being done by Michaeli. He gets the shot onto KGB, opening up a long for NiP right now. That's going to encourage Freiburg soon to take the peak. They're going to be distracted, pulled between long and short.
Lagged.
This is very dangerous now for the Danes.
Yeah, Device tried to push up and readdress things. Zipnik, though, watch out. P250 up close, does get one on Exist. And Zipnik's still alive, but now he finally does go down. Michaeli gets that kill in the end. And now Dupree in middle, though, will catch out on Forrest. That's an opt down, but he actually switches it over for the other M4, so he's going to be going for this, it would appear. As Device still holds on to the other... no, I lied. They will save it. I thought they grabbed the double op. And there, as I say, he catches me in my words and does go back for it, so... Yeah,
I mean, it's huge, huge value. And as Thorman was saying, with the removal of Fetish, a player, like to his frustration, seeing Fetish in the AWPing role all the time, now with Carigan, Device is always just AWPing like loads. I've seen them in their recent matches, and he's just always on point with the AWP. So it's actually a really big fundamental change to how they are as a team. Maybe there's some more downsides in losing Fetish, but I think Dignitas will actually show more individual skill, and we know that they have like heaps of that. So, but the problem in this kind of matchup is that NiP is also a lineup like that. They are also a lineup that really capitalizes on insane amounts of individual skill. So, Dignitas 3-2 now, as NiP are looking pretty good on the money, but they've got to face up against this double AWP setup.
But it is only going to be a double op setup because the rest of them are on pistols, P250s. Now Zipnik with that P2000. We'll see how they choose to play it, and saving those two guns so important. Device is going to head toward long with one of them. Looks like Carigan's going to head toward B. He might see action first, as actually it's going to be Forrest who's lurking in the backside of the B tunnels. And Carigan's going to get aggressive. This is impressive. They're both going to go through on B. So that op's going to get up close and personal. Similar to how we saw Peter play it in the last map. Whiffing on that shot, though, just catches the pillar as he tries to flick over, and he actually gets tagged up in response, down to 19 HP, so they'll fall back. That plan has failed, and they'll have to come up with some other clever idea to get back into this round.
That was actually a huge deal. If he picked off Forrest there, they'd actually be able to control up a dark. That would actually restrict NiP's options massively, but not being able to actually do that obviously gives a lot of freedom still for NiP to still dictate the pace of the round, and at Dignitas, they just have to react now. They can't have really much of an impact apart from just some responding to the pressure that they see. You see Dupree poking into middle once again, seeing those nades come over. This is very indicative of this B split play, and Dupree looking for those shots here as Carigan rattling off some P250 bullets in through the smoke. They can't quite get the frags defensively. NiP rolling in through with all the kills on those AKs as two players are left alive, and Device, he is going to hold on tight to that AWP for that next round.
Just couldn't find the angles as Get Right at least gets one more gun out. So it should be a 3-3. Well, will be a 3-3 score after this. They'll carry that op forward. They will have guns out. Oh, he lagged him up on the jump. Get Right down to 17. That would have been just so much more help for them, but he can't close out on Exist either, so not hitting the shots. Device might actually go down, and he does. Oh man, you miss two when you're trying to save a gun. At that point, you got to consider just running off with it.
I mean, the crazy thing there is that like saving the AWP in that position is really, really, really valuable. As we can see, like they can't buy an AWP at this point. So for Device to be like openly peeking like that when he's in a spot to save is kind of a question mark for me. But either way, we'll have to see if they can just rely effectively on this rifle setup. That's going to change how they play it massively now. And NiP rolling with the double AWP still. Michaeli and Forrest looking to put in the work as they look for these early entries. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be very, very cognizant of these fast pushes here from Dignitas.
HB pushed all the way up, well past the pit at long, but GetRight's not going to head there. They've got a little bit of an opportunity to get inside middle right now, but they aren't going to take it because they're not aware that Device has fallen over back toward the A site. But the rest of his teammates, in fact, Freiburg's still up on catwalk and is trying to push forward and find an angle. He's realized he can clear at least up to the elbow, but he's still got to worry about Goose, and that's where Device is playing, so it's not cracked wide open yet. Mick going to try and flash over and see if he can find the shot, but Device is still hiding in behind the boxes. He will peek out now. Mikelele was caught in the middle of a jump, but he doesn't take too much damage and he falls back, so they still haven't got it open.
Freiburg Mikelele very key for NiP now because Dignitas, they're not peeking. They don't have a setup with, like of rifles, of AWPs and so on, where they can actually effectively play the range game against NiP. So NiP, they're forced to like take these angles and try to push in, get these entries, and force them. You can see now that the CAD didn't work out. They're moving into the B split, up middle, through tunnels. Here they go. Dignitas got to set up an amazing defense now to weather this assault as it comes in onto the B side. Carigan with some excellent work with the FAMAS. That's 2 quick frags as they take advantage.
And he will go down to Forrest in the end. Device did good work up close as well to get one on the entry. So it's a 2-on-2, but Device catches out GetRight, so Forrest on 2 HP is all that is left. And with only an op to work with, he's going to have to be magical. It's not going to happen. Zipnik will close it out, so another one going the way of Team Dignitas. Close round, well contested, but GetRight getting caught out way over toward A. There was nothing they could do at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was actually like a really, really simple and basic round there. I mean, NiP, as I mentioned, they were forced to try to create an entry because Dignitas were just playing incredibly defensively because they didn't want to like go for these picks because they didn't have any orbs to play with. They were on FAMASes, some of them, and NiP they couldn't get the execution in for the entries. And we'll have to see if they can bounce back from that. Still running the double orb hit, but now Carigan's orping himself over towards B. You can see how they've given up middle control here and they're just leaving it for Carigan in a long range to deal with, and Zipnik's and CT spawns. They got a pretty decent crossfire on it, should it get taken over, but NiP setting up for this cat play again.
Device is going to fall back and hold it from a different angle as well, not quite as aggressive. GetRight's still the one playing out at long right now. Cage and B down inside the pit. They've been over there together so close in quarters, but they've yet to do a direct battle or exchange because GetRight hasn't pushed through. He might this time. That smoke's out. The rest of his team might just wait for him to see if he can get that kill, and then they'll commit to that A take. But look at this. GetRight's going to be pinched on. And here it comes, GetRight. I don't think they don't at all actually realize that he's pushed up beside the dumpster, so he's got an opportunity to get something. But as I say that, the rest of his team has given up on waiting for that. They're going to push through middle, but Carigan's there. Forrest goes down, so early blood and first blood of the round going the way of Dignitas, and now it's all going to come out as they get and work toward the elbow on catwalk. They're trying to push back Device. That smoke does good work. He's still trying to spam away. He does get one on Freiburg, but they respond immediately as Mikelele goes back in. And then it's Cajun B and Dupree that respond, so Exists, the only one that remains, and does have the bomb to at least get a plant, but they're just below, as you can see, and peeks out and carelessly gets taken down by Carigan, who gets the hat trick on the round.
That was actually like quite an interesting round there because NiP set up some really nice plays. They had GetRight on A long. If GetRight actually had made a frag there, which he didn't, he kind of just waited a really long time. Then he creates so much pressure that then the cat push comes in and it's like really devastating. And likewise, they sent the guy up mid, but they both got taken out on mid and on long. So right now, Dignitas really showing that individual skill, winning these angels with amazing effectiveness. So NiP being beaten at their own game. Now they're on eco, just on pistols. This is starting to get a little bit out of hand here for them.
They're going to try and commit to a 3-2 split onto A. GetRight and Exist with the bomb going up catwalk, but Freiburg dies just in front of them, and now Zipnik's going to try and do some more work on them. Carigan rotates around. That's going to drop. Man, they're all dropping now as they fall down at catwalk, and GetRight's the only one that remains, and he will die now as well. Carigan again with another kill on the board. And 6-3, they double up on NiP. And pardon me, Device leads the way on, oh no, I take it back, Cajun B, although he's second on the score sheet, has 8, as does Carigan.
So yeah, they're really starting to actually build that bank now, but NiP could throw a wrench into the works now if they're able to take this one, but of course, you know, that's why it's going to be so crucial, otherwise they're going to be on eco again. Dignitas take not just extra round, but insane amounts of economy, and here we go. Good opening up here from Mikelele, but in comes Carigan from short with the AWP. Are they going to expect this? He does get actually pre-flashed there, so that's a really nice read on the timing from NiP. Very, very, very good read indeed.
Now thwarting the ability for them to get an equalizer, and now they've got to force themselves to split up the defense. 2-2 mid-open And that's where NiP is grouping. If they could flash and get through. Carigan does have that op over on the CT side. He could peek through. Or pardon me, over on the A side, he could peek through CT. If they get that smoke out, though, that will completely thwart him. So,
yep.
NiP just need to take advantage of it, work accordingly.
It does seem like it's, again, we're in a situation that it's like the easiest to isolate a player if they attack A here. You can see that the guy on the site is completely isolated from the guy on long, whereas on B, there's 2 players who are on the site. So it really, really comes into huge amounts of pressure onto a player like MichaelEli to actually make these shots actually count here, because to make this work, they've got to pick up a frag straight away. Here it goes, and he does make it happen. Amazing entry there from MichaelEli, opening the doors for his team to get in the bomb site, and look at that.
Yeah, Forrest comes in and just cleans up CajunB as well, so they'll save the guns, and this will give one more to NiP. 6-4 going to be the score. They get the bomb plant, and now we just wait out the timer. And MichaelEli up close gets that shot. I mean, he's got to be on point, there's no question. You talk about a revitalized NiP roster, completely changed the formation of how they play. We saw it at DreamHack. Every round he got better and better, and as a result, they had a great run. Well, he's got to do that again now. Exactly, and this is like one of the amazing things about having an AWPer like MichaelEli on your team, because we've seen this working out for Kenny S on Titan. We've seen this working out for JW on Fnatic. You have an AWPer that can take entry frags in this way, and as we just saw MichaelEli do, these close range shots, like these really like chaotic moments, the guy can like, hit the shot and like allow your team to just get into the site. There's no like spraying of weapons. No, the guy's just dead, and that gives you the quick like burst of positioning to get into through the choke point, and that's all your team needs. And it's job done after that. And so MichaelEli adding an amazing difference to how NiP can actually perform these site takes. The other thing that I should say is, although there's been some save rounds from Dignitas, if you look at the graph for equipment value, every round that they've had to save, they've saved guns from the previous round. But oh man, this one already MichaelEli gets Dupree, and that's going to give them another one-man advantage. So a great start again. Now, isn't it? Yeah. They're a little bit careless on their cross. That leaves Carigan alone, and they'll put some pressure on him with grenades, but they're not going to push forward just yet. They want to find and figure out a read on their opponents before they carelessly walk into a slaughter. So this is actually like really, really difficult when a player gets picked off on the CT side so early, because the Ts have so much time to try to just exploit the fact that there are openings now in your defense. And so like some CT teams will decide to actually try to play for information here so that they can be either like hamstring the push before it happens, or try to get it basically have enough players on the site to defend more effectively, instead of just like reacting. Taking a more proactive approach, very important in a spot like this. But so far, they are just holding their ground. Looks like Zipnik's going to be the first to come under siege right now, but smartly he throws off an incendiary grenade, and that'll force back both MichaelEli and Freiberg, who were trying to find that angle, and in fact, they're going to fall off catwalk and readdress things, as Exist does have a smoke out onto CT. That's dissolved, though, so they're a little bit late getting through middle. They'll put out a second one just to be sure, and now they'll push forward. Cajun and Carigan, all that are left. And CajunB's going to get one, make it two. He's still got some gun to work with. He swaps over to the USP, makes quick work of MichaelEli and Carigan. It's all they need. They only need 2 players at the B site, because NiP can do absolutely nothing to get inside the bomb. And that's going to do it. 7-4 for Dignitas now. That's insane. Like CajunB getting a 4 kill right there, that shouldn't happen like that. Pulling out the Glock there, not being, that was just so awkward there for NiP, that push. It looked like really, really good. I mean, on the map there, I think they had by far the advantage to actually take that round from that approach. But I mean, you don't count on CajunB just taking down 4 players like that. So double AWP coming in now for Team Dignitas as they start to really get this flow going. And I think NiP are starting to really feel some pressure on some of these like one-on-ones. It's just not going their way. And Dignitas, we know that when their confidence runs high, they start to play even better. So this can get scary. And Device is pushed into Cat here with this AWP, gonna whiff a shot there and give away his position, but he still has options here to play this angle effectively. And smartly drops back where he does have that AWP. Once they know he's there, he's prone to get naded and spammed away. So he falls back, readdresses his angle. Zipnik, CajunB still pushed up toward long, and actually NiP are regrouping outside those doors. So there's an opportunity to get an exchange there. Zipnik would be the first one to see it, and in fact, it looks like MichaelEli might try and get the entry on it. They're going to smoke them off. Man, the reads from Dignitas. We saw an incendiary last round. The smokes are coming out, and it seems like every time NiP's waiting on the doorstep, and it just completely shuts them down. And CajunB, again, is in a position to completely break the legs of NiP, just like completely do like a leg sweep on their push and put them flat on their face, because if he's able to take like 2 or 3 frags, even get the bomb down, it's just over. And in they come, he's actually got a nade in his hand, and Getro jumping through, able to take him down. There comes Zipnik, second line of the defense. He's going to get bulldozed by NiP as well.
as it becomes a 4-on-2, and you can see how far away the B players are, and this is the major weakness of this setup.
So 4 AKs, bomb goes down on the A site. dupreeh and Carigan, again, I mentioned it, every time they are low on money, they at least manage to save guns. They're going to attempt to do so now, and that helps them. I mean, look, they've got 7 rounds on the board, and it only takes a few more to be very comfortable after a first half, and if they can hold on to any weaponry, it just makes the job a lot easier.
So we'll have to see if they can actually bring this back now, you know, taking around, kind of removing some of that momentum away from Dignitas. And because, I mean, largely we're seeing that NiP putting themselves in good positions to actually take these rounds. But it's mostly just been on Dignitas just hitting the shots and just defending like beasts. And, you know, Thorin mentioned it before, Dignitas known as a CT team. So, you know, NiP, they don't have to put an insane performance into the T-half. If they get, you know, 6-7 rounds, they're going to feel quite comfortable because, you know, going into playing against the T-half of Dignitas. But that's still also a question mark. What impact has Carigan had on their T sides? Yeah,
absolutely. You're under the orchestration of a new conductor, so to speak. Carigan, excuse me, has to know the tools he's working with, and it sometimes takes a bit to get used to that cute little boost going on at middle. Carigan going to get up above that smoke, and he actually might see Michael Ailey. He does, gets the better of it, so a good start to the round. He actually got tagged down to 17 in doing so, but it doesn't matter. They've got the man advantage, and that's all they want to work with right now. They also managed to force out the rest of those M4s as well. So 2 A1s on the board and 2 A4s.
Just trying to find a pick here again on middle as they're just looking for map control. Dignitas, though, again, they're doing a really good job in not peeking NiP in spots where they shouldn't be. Like, if someone had been peeking middle there, he would be dead. And instead, you know, Dignitas playing the angles really, really well, making sure that if NiP are to get an engagement, they really have to work for it and put themselves in an unfavorable position. And here it comes. Now they're forced to go for a play, and they're all just bullying their way up into that A-bomb site from Catwalk. Can this go their way right now, or will Dignitas pull out another phenomenal defense?
And Device is going to be the only one left inside A. He's got a good angle, though. He manages to at least get Freiburg, although Zipnik dropped to Get Right just before that, so NiP at least get trades to help them get in, and Get Right finds one more. They've got the bomb down. It's a 3-on-2 post plant, and dupreeh manages to only get one, make it 2. He's doing it the best he can, but Get Right's there, and he gets a quad kill. A great round from him. He's going to make it 1-point game. 7-6 now our score.
Yeah, it definitely looks a lot better for NiP now. They got those 6 rounds under their belt. They're going to start feeling a little bit, you know, better about themselves. And Dignitas, you know, now things are, of course, not so good on the money. So a free one for NiP. They're going to get themselves up to 7. You know, things starting to look much better for the Ninjas. And we know that they've got a really, really good CT half. And again, now that they have 2 like really good AWPers to play on the CT half with, their style has changed so much. You know, it's going to be interesting to see Dignitas actually dealing with that and coping with it, whether they'll just like try to fight it directly, or whether they have some like new strategies that Carigan's been working on, or trying to encourage the team to play with to shut down the double AWPs.
Still no commitment from NiP. They are grouped up toward middle. 3 of them at least. Michael Ailey's going to be holding on to the bomb. He's going to fall back over with Forrest in upper B tunnels right now, and dupreeh's the only one at home in B. Carigan's pushed up close. Oh man, Freiburg's there. They're going to flash through. Carigan in the driver's seat, in the hot spot, not able to make shots on Freiburg, and actually Freiburg gets away without losing too much at all. Meanwhile, Michael Ailey's made an entrance onto B. dupreeh's down and out, so Carigan's going to have to rotate back up to the site. He does make a good shot onto Forrest, but as he comes through the door, Michael Ailey makes another shot onto him, so things looking a lot harder for Dignitas as Zipnik tries to do anything he can. He will get the op out of Michael Ailey's hands, but Freiburg recovers it. So 7-7 tie game, best of 1 format. NiP was the favorite in this group. Dignitas, Cloud9, chomping at the heels. I mean, if this doesn't come back the way of NiP soon, we might see another upset in one of the groups.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that it's best of 1, and Dignitas have always been a team that's like, again, has amazing individual skills, good in groups. I mean, they're often, where they fall through is around the semis or something like that. I don't think they've ever gotten past the semis, so we'll have to see if they can actually change their story a little bit with Carigan. But Freiburg, no nonsense push straight up into the A-bomb site, looking for those entries. And there's the angle, cajunb so deep on the angle, catching Freiburg off guard. And now for NiP, they've got to try to salvage this somehow, but cajunb still in action.
They've tried to smoke him off a little bit, but oh, that flash actually forces him back. He got up on top of the hood of the car. Zipnik, meanwhile, though, is still wreaking havoc, and Carigan's gotten in behind them. So they are trapped right now inside the A site with only 2 players remaining. Michael Ailey can't close out on Cajun B either, and Carigan will get forced, so they'll take the half, 8-7. A good start from Dignitas, but like you said, they're a CT team. So NiP could still look very comfortable right now going into the second half.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, this is kind of like the scoreline that you would expect, I think, with these two teams, that you know, Dignitas would be able to pull this many rounds out. I mean, you know, FFRN also mentioned, you know, as well, that Dust 2, you know, historically has been, you know, a map that Dignitas can play well in, especially on the CT side. But yeah, again, question mark is the T sides. And first things first, the pistol round. Like, who's going to get the pistol? What kind of position are they going to be in, based on who wins that? So the thing is, for Dignitas, that I'm curious of, is that if they are able to win the pistol, I actually feel like they have like a really, really solid shot of winning this game, because if they can keep NiP's money down and keep them off of the AWPs, off of like the amount of nades that they want, all these kinds of things, and stop them from playing the setups that are really strong, then they have like a really good shot to actually take this out. But if it goes the other way, I think NiP should be able to close it out, to be honest. Yeah, and I tend to agree with you, but again, a pistol round going the way of Dignitas could give them that little bit of momentum to just make it that much harder. And as we saw last game, the T side, all it takes is breaking the economy and continuing any momentum they can gain. So second round pistol, I often put more emphasis on it than even the first round pistol, because it really, you know, you can do all the hard work on the first half. If you can't close out on that pistol, you got no opportunity to continue on with it. Yeah, it's going to be really, really crucial to see if NiP can actually pick up the pace here on the CT half. Dignitas, I'm not sure about. I mean, the thing is, like, historically with them, again, with their approach on the T sides, is that they just try to rely on these individual skill. And this is like a good map for that, because there's so many ways to find open jewels. It's unlike Inferno. Inferno's like the contrast there. It's like you have to like flash your teammates in, get through all these choke points. It's like much harder to manage. But this map should play much more easily to the kind of style that they want, to like get easy aim jewels. But then again, it depends on whether NiP give them away. So I mean, we saw Dignitas were playing very defensively. Maybe NiP will take the same approach. Well, we're about to find out. Yeah, Dignitas having good runs in group stages before at various tournaments. We'll see if Carigan can bring a renewed sense of leadership that'll allow them to go one further, but they've got to get past NiP first. Second round pistol, here we go. X-Games 2015, and an 8 going to go out from existence. Does a little bit of damage onto Zipnik. Not much significantly, though, as he's only down to 79. Get right. Peaky on catwalk right now, not going to find anyone. It's pretty standard formation, but Cajun B is trying to get in through the doors. He's going to flash himself off, and Forrest is there. Actually, Exist is there as well, so NiP's got that spot covered, and they're both beyond that smoke they've thrown, so that'll do them no help whatsoever, as Get Right still lurks on that catwalk. Might come into play right now. He's pushed up to the left side. He's hugging. He goes for one. That's the bomb out of Carigan. Looking for a double. Gets it on device, and it's all in Cajun B to take him down. He does so at least they quiet him, and Cajun B actually gets Michael Ailey, who pushed up to try and work with Get Right. So that evens things up just a little more, as they do pick up that bomb, and they've gotten into A site completely uncontested after that, because the rest of them were coming around from middle. All right, so they're going to put the clock on the CTs now by planting that bomb. It is 2-on-3, but it's after plant, and NiP, they've got to time this well. They've got to coordinate themselves here, and the kills have to come quickly for Dignitas, so they don't have any hope of holding this push that's coming. Comes Forrest. From long, Exist chiming in. Oh, that's a great shot there from Forrest, long range on to Dupree, and that's going to clean it up. And NiP are going to take the pistol round and force Dignitas into an eco. But as they did get the bomb down, they're only looking at saving once, and then they can get rifles going. So they're not going to be sweating it, I don't think. Yeah, so I would be surprised if they do anything crazy for a second round buy because of that, because they know if they hold the economy, like you say, a third round buy to get them back into it. And usually, something that a lot of teams would do in a spot like this that Dignitas are in right now is they would buy like 2 or 3 smokes and like a flash or so, and then they would try that like cap push to get that guaranteed plant or somewhat guaranteed plant in the smoke on A. That's something that some teams like to do. We're seeing that Dignitas don't spend any investment here at all. Carigan with a flash, and that's about it. Trying to flash his teammate through a choke point there, get into long, see if they can get some quick kills here, maybe pick up some weapons. Dignitas are alive now on the A long area. But this is a good crossfire here from Get Right and Exist. And they each pick up one as they set it up, and Dignitas now hesitant to try and push forward any further, because Get Right's got 3 as he walks out of the pit, and that bomb's been dropped, and there's Michael Ailey with that scout as well, so a quick mop of the Dignitas side.
quick note, Get Right rated the #1 player of 2014. Some agree, some don't, but if he's going to be rated #1, he's got to play like it, and he's leading the fraggers right now as well. So.
Yeah, and Get Right's the player that you want to be getting all the eco frags, because Get Right's the guy that, like, once he gets like a good emotional state, gets the confidence going, the guy turns into a complete beast, and he, you know, it has a bigger impact on some players than others, and I'd say Get Right's one of them. And we'll have to see now if the Thanasis can hold against these AKs here, coming in from Dignitas. As Exist is going to lock it down. Zipnix and Carigan to go down. Get Right chiming in once more. These guys working with so much efficacy on the A-long area. And it's all on Device now with that AK. But this is insane because they've lost no one so far. Device needs to kill some players here. Otherwise they're going to pick up all those AKs. So much value for free.
Oh, he's sitting so close inside that smoke, and Device just can't spot him yet. It's going to be an exchange, count it down. No, actually, look at that. Existence
like a ninja, a true ninja vanishing through the smoke.
Houdini disappears, and Get Right's there as well. They've been playing so well together at long, that early double stack. Device does manage to get Exist in the end, but there's Freiburg from behind. So they get one kill at least, but that early buy not going to pay off, and it's going to be right back to pistols. So NiP are in firm control now. There's no question about it.
Yeah, this is absolute best case now that they picked up a bunch of AKs. Michael Elliott's on the AWP. Couldn't want a better start, really. And Dignitas in with some Tech 9s, a smoke and a flash. So their options incredibly limited here. I wonder if they'll... Okay, it looks like they're splitting in 3 players into Upper Darky. I was wondering if they're going to go for a cat play, but it looks like that's not going to happen just yet.
Michael Elliott trying to get aggressive at middle as well with that op. Not able to find anyone, but at least does some scouting for the Ninjas, and now as they come through, actually Forrest is going to drop. Cajun B gets that kill. Exist, though, will immediately respond. They've smoked off CT well, but here comes Freiburg peeking out through the doors at B. Knows one's still right in front of him. Oh, can't get it. As he crouches down, Freiburg shoots above Device's head, and that gives them the B site, and they will get it down. Oh. So now it's all on the retake of Ninjas in Pyjamas.
And Device has an AK, and he's in dark as well, so this actually could be very doable here for Dignitas. If they play their cards right, if Zipnix can get some good damage or just to, like, lay on the good distraction here for Device, it's all about this distraction play. So Device can get this frag. And here it is, going to peek out, and Zipnix even gets the kill. He gets the weapon. Get Right going to get sprayed from the back, and he gets the kill and everything. Zipnix taking the round there for Dignitas. Massive upset there. There's no way they should have won that round. Just an insane, just barreling through middle here. You've got to always be scared of these Danes, man. They're crazy. And the NiP now 10-9. So
an eco on the board. That's going to help massively. Caster's Curse, I said they were firmly in the driver's seat. Well, yeah. It's not firm anymore. They still have 1 round advantage, but they've gone for a bit of a force buy. Mag 7 out on Michael Ailey. In fact, the op's gone to Forrest, so they're switching things up. I'm not sure if Michael Ailey wasn't... I didn't see the spawns. That might have been spawn positioning, actually, as we do see Forrest is all the way over at B already.
And Michael is actually looking for the jump mag shot there. That's going to be fun. So we'll have to see if you'll actually see any action here. It's going to be very embarrassing if they never come cat, but either way, looks like a very standard approach here from Dignitas. Just taking some map control, checking out the lay of the land here from NiP's perspective, seeing where they're standing.
It's a tight grouping in middle. They want to go through with the rifles, but Carigan's actually going to head with the bomb over toward Catwalk, and that's where Michael Ailey is stacked up on the boxes with that Mag 7. We'll see if he can get a shot up close.
Carigan needs to actually drop the bomb there. I mean, don't want to be showing yourself with the bomb if you're looking for those entries. And
execution on middle, though. Exist is actually going to get smoked off in CT, but he still manages to take down Dupree. And KGB finally gets Freiburg, who is also there. But look, now they are up Catwalk. Michael Ailey tries for that stylish jump shot with the Mag 7, not able to connect so far, and they've gone past the elbow. They're inside the A side. He does get it that time, though, and that's one of the things that gun can be so useful for, but Carigan's not going to allow it twice, as he will take him down. And now Get Right, though, on the retake, tries to come back in. It's a 2v3 post plant, and they mop them up, so a good retake from NiP. They won't be fooled twice, and they will get another round, so resume their 2-point lead.
Yeah, what a crucial one. I mean, like, just looking at the money there, I mean, Dignitas were, I mean, if they'd won that round, they would have sent NiP into like a really poor spiral of money towards like the end of the second half. That's like always really hard to deal with as a CTs. But NiP clinging on. We see Forrest and Michael Ellie rocking the AWPs here. And once again, the pistols coming out from Dignitas. And this looks, you know, once again, like either, you know, one of those mid-rush plays or a cat play for a plant, something like that. You know, just, you know, a few smoke, some flashes, just going to hit it hard. Here we go. It worked out for them once. Can it do it the same way once again here as they move into this long position.
And they actually are going to get smoked off as they try and come through long, but it doesn't matter. They'll get right after he only manages to get one. So now they've got a bit of positioning in the long angle, but Michael Ailey's still there with that AWP, as is Forrest, who's over toward middle. So they've got good control to pinch them and not allow them to relocate themselves back on B. So they're pretty much going to have to go. And with only Dupree and Zipnik left, it should be a pretty easy round from this point on for the Ninjas.
Yeah, and
oh wow, he actually dinks him up. Yeah, so Michael Ailey's under a lot more pressure than we might have expected, but he will pop out in the end. Exist drops down just before that, so at least Dupree got one on the board. Nice headshot.
I think the idea there was like, because a lot of teams, what they'll do on the CT side is they'll put like 2 players on long immediately to defend against a rush. And I think they were actually counting on that, but this was actually much further back, so they couldn't get like the 2 instant frags that they were hoping for. And if that actually happened, I could see that rush actually working out for them. But NiP going to lock it down this time. 12-9 now the score as NiP take more and more control of the match, but it's far from over yet here as we still see these buys coming in from this terrace side. Dignitas, they are trailing, but only by 3. And Devices on that AWP, and this upper dark play could be very key here for NiP to get some crucial information about what's happening on the map.
Yeah, if they push through, Devices still set up trying to for a set smoke out toward long. Yeah, I'll throw that off now. That's going to block off Michael Ailey's angle, who's sitting there waiting for them to come through, and they're still just stacked out there. But watch out, because Get Right's getting rather aggressive.
They know it's coming now. They got this, the one was pushed into lower dark as well, so things are going to start getting really heated now because Dignitas, the flank is real. If they get this push in, the players have already rotated, and look at this hold on long. They just can't push past Get Right. 2 insane frags followed up by a shot by Michael Ailey. In comes Device now with the AWP, but he's got to worry about every single side. Takes the shot there onto Get Right, but Exist will finish him off as NiP take another round and bring it 13-9.
So 3 rounds to getting their first win of the tournament. They were the pool favorite, so this will be exactly how they wanted to start. But Dignitas are definitely showing some fight under their new leadership and new roster. And the game that matters for me, of course, tomorrow afternoon they play Cloud9. That could very much decide this group. So a win today would have been huge for them, but it's not done just yet. Forrest going to smoke it off, tries to get that shot, does so successfully. Device down. So 1-man advantage again now for NiP, as the Pistols will try and work out of the lower B tunnels, and they might just try and rush through on Forrest, who does lag up Carigan. He's still there trying to address it, but here comes Freiberg with that M4. Oh, he's down and out as Forrest switches over to the pistol and somehow stays alive with only that AWP up close. But Ninjas in pajamas. Only 2 players left in this round. Look like they're going to push that much closer to the GG yet again, and there it is. Get Right with the double to close it out, and he continues in great form.
So this is actually completely doable here for Dignitas. It's not a huge amount of rounds, and it is Dust 2, so can't count them out of this one yet. And in comes the AWP on Device again. You know, we look to him for the answers for Dignitas here to open this up. We're seeing NiP, you know, rocking these double AWPs, so Device really has to create some kind of a response to that. And we're going to see him looking for that cross frag. Not going to find anything just yet, as that Forrest goes for the peek. And no one going down, but Device went down to 1 HP there. That's actually pretty brutal. Oh, he's going glass cannon, no armor on him.
This is crucial as well because they've got no money left in the bank, so they've got to win this round if they want any chance to get back into it. Get Right again, going to go in toward Pit. He's so aggressive at long today. And if he holds that angle like he has been, there's no way they're getting in through there. So what else is open right now? There is a bit of a indirect mid presence, but Forrest is rotating back around through CT, so they've got all the angles covered. Dupree's going to try and get it inside B as he counter smokes off. Carigan's actually up through middle, but there's no one really there for him to find great positioning.
And the B split comes in. Dupree's in upper dark alone now. Very key player here for this rush to succeed. Forrest trying to look for a jump over into an angle here, but in the meantime, frags coming here for Dignitas as they take over the bomb site, and it's 3 players for NiP against the 4 of Dignitas, as they have a really nice setup here. Everything you could want. In comes Forrest though, looking for the peak. Oh, spots that pixel, rips off Zipnik's head with the AWP, but there is the return, and it's going to be Dignitas that hold on 1 round more.
Like I said, they needed that one because their wallets are empty. And that all came down, I mentioned it, there was a lack of a direct mid presence. They had Forrest rotating back through CT, but when that smoke came out, he was helpless. And then they just walked up and took over the site. And honestly, in global offensive, that's such a strong play. If you can take full control and catch out the two players holding, they get completely overwhelmed as they get basically a 270-degree angle to hold with 3 entrances.
Absolutely, and the Danes really giving themselves a really nice chance to come back into this match now. Honestly, NiP are going to be on eco if they lose this, so Dignitas now could be looking at equalizing the game off of this point. A very pivotal moment here for them, as once again they look for these entries, and once again Dignitas, or rather, sorry, NiP have been actually denying them by and large here.
Gone back to that double up setup too, so like you say, committed on their wallet now, dwindling. They're both playing passive. There hasn't been any big explosions early on in the rounds. They're definitely trying to read each other. It's so important. Again, best of one.
Here we go,
mistakes can be costly.
It's starting to come to a boil now as Dignitas look for the push, and it's all resting on Michael here. You can see that they've sacrificed on A strength by having a crossfire in middle, got an extra player in middle, so that means that Michael has to hit his shots if they go in here, and he becomes the most important player now for NiP to actually win this round and get some entries here. And look at that, they're going to go through, he's going to whiff for the first shot there as they just barrel in onto the site, and for more shots, gets nothing. Device takes him out. This is huge now for the Danes.
And GetRight's the only one in position to get there quickly. He is at long, and he actually does get Cajun B. I think he was trying to plant the bomb, so they've got to recover that now, as Device will put it down. 3-on-2 post plant. Plant it for the backside of Catwalk. Forest is still lurking up from CT spawn, and GetRight is at long. Device, though, will put him down, so it's all on Forest, and he's quickly going to creep back that other direction and try and hold on to that AWP. Not going to happen. Device makes good work of him, and we got a game on our hands yet again.
They can really do this. They can really pull this off now. Again, NiP completely broke right now, Busto. And that means that Dignitas should, in theory, have a pretty easy one now. Should be able to pick this one up and have no problems. Then they're going to be 12-14. And we'll just have to see if they can keep these rounds coming. And the problem is for NiP in the spots like that is, once again, they do have that strong middle hole, but it completely relies on Michael hitting the shots. He just missed the shot, the opening shots, and that's it. It's game over right there. So, to see if NiP can get some sneaky damage done with these PT50s.
And they got Exist boosted up. Oh, that flash came out at just the right time because Cajun B jumped right across the crosshairs of Exist. That'll get him up on the catwalk, and they're going to fall off that mid position, but it looks like Dignitas still want to push through there. See if they can do it. The P250s up close can be quite potent, but first they've got to get the angles, and so far still there's no commitment from Dignitas.
And CT spawn smoke there. They might just be trying to bait them out actually. It's still have a minute left. And no, in goes Carigan, using the smoke as cover as his team sets up for this B play. And there it is. Freiberg going to make his way through the smoke and quickly get dispatched. Steve Free makes his way in through the upper dark area. And it's looking all fine and dandy here for Team Dignitas. And only Zipnix who's gone down, and the bomb is going to get planted. So there you go. They've avoided a potential catastrophe, which would have been the P250s wrecking them. So 14-12 now as Dignitas climb back.
Well, it'll be back to guns, though, and NiP was looking really good up until the last couple of rounds, so if they can go back to basics, I still think they need more mid-presence. They've been giving up just that little bit of positioning that they can't quite recover from. Early in the half, it seemed like they were there. They had crossfires set up multiple times, but as of late, they haven't been so quick to be there, I guess you could say. And Mop out still for Device, one out for Michael Ailey. GetRight pushed up again toward long, and they're coming through with speed this time. That flash does blind them all, and GetRight's going to fall all the way back into the bottom of pit just to save his own life, but they know he's there, and they're going to nade spam him off. 1, 2, 3. Still not down, though. He refuses to go out, but Carigan has had enough, and he will peek forward with that AK and take him down. So that's long control given up. Exist and Michael Ailey are actually going to fall off of A. Do you think they're going to go for a quick save so they can not be completely broken?
Well, the thing about this is that Dignitas, in taking long control and not committing to a push, they're forcing massive rotation here from NiP. So NiP now all moving position. They don't know exactly what's going on. They just know that long is controlled by one player. For all they know, Dignitas could have actually doubled back towards B. So now Dignitas have an advantage on pretty much anything that they go for because NiP are all over the place. And this does look like a situation where they're going to want to save these guns, to be honest, as you said. Because this retake, they can't all go from Cat or something like that. That just won't work. So going to be going for that 4-man save, as you said.
And the situation is simple. If they lose this, it's 13-14. They save, it goes 14-14. And if you go down one round that late, it's all over. So I don't disagree with this save at all.
Yeah, no,
it's
it makes
giving
a lot
them
of
that
sense.
one lifeline to get that 15th round, that elusive round that they need to at least secure regulation.
And often as well, when you're holding like A-Long or something, you're expecting to get at least a couple kills if you know 3 or 4 players are coming through that choke point. But once they like pass through that choke point on the doors, then your chance to actually kill them goes down significantly, because you've got 4 guys in the open facing you, and you can see Get Right completely overwhelmed, couldn't even get a single frag there. So then once Long's given up like that, the A defense becomes so incredibly difficult. So it makes a lot of sense that there's very very nice fast thinking there from NiP to respond that way. And now 14-13 is starting to get really intense here.
Yeah, it hasn't actually been full of excitement in every round. It's been very calculated, though. There's no question. This entire match has been well thought out from both sides, and it's extremely close. These last couple of rounds are going to be detrimental to either of these teams, or a completely uplifting situation for Dignitas in the group stages.
3 guys towards B, though, and that's actually quite an interesting move there from NiP. It's obviously a risky one, should A have been pressured very quickly, but it also allows them aggressive options. But so far they're just holding. And just the sacrifice here is middle and Cat, so it's a very risky play here from NiP. Will it pay off?
Well, Cat for sure. Forrest is relocated up onto the scaffolding outside of B window. So it does give them a position to know they've come through the double doors, but as you say, A is still open. And let's see if they go through that smoke, off the skybox. Forrest, meanwhile, though, does catch Cage and B, so that was the relocation I was talking about. So they don't get mid-control that time quite as easily, and that, in my opinion, has been a bit of the weakness, but they're still going to push through and see if they can overwhelm. Exist is pushed up. Exist gets one. They line up. He gets, oh, pardon me, Forrest actually came through, but now Dupree and Device come right back at them. So it's another 2-on-2 situation. They've got B control, but Device with only 1 HP to work with as the bomb goes down. Yeah,
and they have to absolutely go for this, and we're going to be waiting for his teammate. They've got quite a lot of time. They both have already, Skemmer has a kit. Device very low.
This nade could do big damage.
Great grenade there from Get Right, and this could just seal the deal right now as he's going to go through. As Michael A distracts through the double doors. Michael A, that's all on him. Looking for the no-scope, misses Dupree and Device in the 2-on-2. Managed to make it work. 14-14, and Dignitas, they have got climbed back what would seem to be just a mountain here, just against NiP, just slowly but surely, methodically.
It is 5 rounds in a row, though, so the money bonus is maximized now for NiP, so at least they can force out into a pretty much full gun situation. But Device, 1 HP close up.
Amazing
if that
stuff.
nade had been lobbed in, it would have taken him down. Instead, he catches Get Right off guard, and they take the round. So
new setup from them as well, as we're going to see something that looks a little bit more regular. And once again, it's all about finding out the information here and making these 2 ops really work in their favor. And Dignitas really need to identify that there are 2 ops in play also. It changes how they need to approach certain angles. This is a nice setup. Carigan to go down.
Caught off guard as he rotates back over. Oh, through the box. Freiberg's actually going to get some damage onto him, though, as Dignitas, in particular, Device, trying to find something over at the B site. But it's still all to play for. So close, it's impossible to predict. Dust 2 throwing up some great games so far. As Exist still lurking in middle, tries to spam away onto Zipnik, but look out because there's 3 players coming through B tunnel right now. Forrest is going to be the only one there. He does find the first one on Device. He'll relocate his angle. Can't get the shot though. Zipnik meanwhile gets Exist. That's middle, so watch out. But Forrest isn't done.
Oh!
Forrest! Monster play right there, and that's going to do it. 15 rounds is now on the board, so at least they've secured overtime point. Yeah, look at that. Showing off a little flair for his fans. And Ninjas in Pyjamas might have just done enough, but it's not over yet. They've still got guns on Dignitas' side. We thought we might have gone to overtime in the last match. Well, we might see it again here.
Forrest just makes GIFs. He just creates them. That was a GIF right there. The pew pew coming out. All right, let's see if match point can turn into game for NiP right now. Dignitas got the full buy going, so they are just creating a tentative approach now. Very defensive here. They don't want to get caught off by aggression early on, which could always happen from NiP, but they decide in this round not to go for something like that. They're also playing very tentatively, very cautiously here. Neither team wants to take any risks in a moment like this, and the triple ops is certainly a good reason for that.
Yeah, Get Right picking up one. That's the first time we've seen it, and he's playing all the way back at A site. Zipnik, though, is going to take down Michael. That's the op out of his hands, and Get Right's going to have to be very clever right here because he's also got Dupree on catwalk, although he hasn't pushed forward, and they're pushing up A, so he's going to pop out. He does find the first one on device. He's going to pop that flash out as well, but now he knows he's going to get overwhelmed. He only lags out. Oh, Dupree not down, and they've gotten him off the site. Get Right fallen. So now Dignitas are in a great position to force this overtime. Bomb has gone down. Existence, Forest, Freiburg have got to do something magical.
This is so incredibly difficult right now. It's going to be Freiburg opening up onto Dupree, and that's a really quick frag now. They can get onto the A bomb site quickly now from Cat. Two players rushing up now. Time is of the essence here as Zipnix and Carigan hold the site. And they both line up for Zipnix. Can't quite find the frag though. In Freiburg comes. Carigan still on Goose, does get the spray down, and there it is. We get ourselves a tie game, overtime in between these two teams as Dignitas with an immense comeback, but NiP showing that they are no slouches either here. And you think the triple AWP there was their undoing?
I don't know if that was the best decision, especially where they didn't quite have the support from Catwalk, and Get Right couldn't really peek out and commit to either side because he was just completely pinched. Well, the other thing to talk about too is we discussed Carigan's leadership and how that would affect the T side of Dignitas. Well, they definitely showed that they adapted well, and they came back beautifully in the second half of the second half, the last quarter of the game, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, I think you made like an interesting point as well about how the game wasn't necessarily like really intense. There were some like really intense moments, but generally both teams were playing very methodically, just like very systematic, slow peaks, clearing of angles, and just trying to keep it slow. And this is something that we used to see also from NiP and Fnatic when they used to clash, especially on maps like Inferno, because both teams respect each other's ability to basically lock down angles so effectively. They want to like really make it difficult for you, and they don't want to take risks because they respect that also. Not only are you good at hitting the shots, but you're also good at like understanding like the intricate timings of the map. So like when like this position can be pushed and like what's like really popular in the meta and so on and so forth. So like with all that knowledge, like and all the respect there, you can see these very slow kind of rounds coming out. So thing is though, Dignitas, they're just always so scary in these angels. Like I'm personally just always just I look at some of these players like Dupree, Device. These guys are really on point right now.
So knowing that they came on strong and kind of unbuttoned NiP's defense, took advantage of it, found out where they were weak, and had a great latter half of their T side. They're a great CT team. Do you think they now have the advantage going into overtime?
I don't know. I really feel like it's hard to say like who has an advantage here. I wouldn't actually want to. I hesitate to say. Do you have an opinion there? Like,
personally speaking, NiP looked strong early on, but once they got figured out, they didn't really recover that well. Aside from Forest with a spectacular play in B, they didn't do much, and that to me says that you got to look at the fact of just momentum, ability to read the opponent, and who's getting the better of the match right now. And I think Dignitas, personally speaking, is in the driver's seat. I think they could easily close out on this if they keep on the way they are. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they actually managed to find some weaknesses on long and also middle, but actually, NiP were changing their defensive setup in many rounds. Like, Get Right was always on long, for example, but Exist was like moving all over the place. Sometimes they would have that 3-man setup on B. We could see some rounds come into play where that was really effective because they could show 2 players on B, then you got, I think it was actually Exist, like it's like hiding behind the box, comes in from an angle they don't expect, they're shooting at Forest, and then boom, Exist shuts down the round. So like they have these unpredictable plays that they have been going to that have been working for them as well, and so it's really interesting. The B site's been the success of Dignitas, the mid to Bs, because you remember early on, it seems so distant now, but when they tried to go A, Exist and Get Right had that perfect crossfire and shut them down 4 rounds almost unchallenged. So, I mean, they've got to do something about holding on to that B site, and it's hard. I mean, how do you gamble? Do you completely pull a player off the A side, and then Catwalk becomes a crucial spot on the map for Dignitas? I mean, it's a gamble, really.
One thing like I really enjoyed about NiP's choices for defense on CT was that in some rounds they had like they put much more emphasis on middle. And to do that, you sacrifice strength defensively like elsewhere. For example, a common setup could be like having like 3 guys on A. You got like 1 guy on long, 1 guy who's like by car, and 1 who's actually on the side. That's like very typical. And then you have like 2 guys on B. That's like a very typical, very easy defense that teams can use. But I'll just finish my point quickly here. They relied on Michael here. They had a stronger defense on mid to say, okay, Michael is so good, he's going to lock down A. But that didn't happen. So Michael needs to hit his shots.
Well, theory is one thing, action is another, and we're back into it. Overtime underway. Looks like they actually are going to start things out today, so thought that would be their weakness, but they've done well this time. They've taken down Exist. Get Right falls as well. They've got full control. Carigan only losing, well, down to 17 HP. Willie picks up the double, so a great play from him. And it's on the back foot now for NiP. They've got to find something to get back into it.
So yeah, MR3 10K for you guys at home, wondering the overtime rule set here. And it does look like NiP not going to be off to the best of starts in this overtime. Down to Michael and Freiburg now against 5 players, and they are going to just fall back here and save these weapons. You can actually run out of cash in MR3, especially MR3 10K, especially if you are going for these double AWPs. So it does make a lot of sense for them to back away here. So again, I would like to see them like actually go to these defenses that we were talking about, where they do put a lot of emphasis on Michael Ayla. I just want to see him hitting the shots that we know that he can. Right now, he needs to warm up. It's a bit like with Smith on ODLC. Earlier, we were seeing him like not performing to his regular strength on some of his roles that really can make or break LDLC in certain spots.
Well, there's something else that's got to be mentioned right now. They've gone for a double op setup in the first round of overtime. They've got to hold on to those because their economy can be broken that quickly. Freiburg at least gets Zipnik, but watch out, there's Dupree on the flank, and if they drop both these ops, it could be an easy 3-round burst for Dignitas. So they've got a great start to the first overtime, and NiP, man, oh man, this is going to hurt. Their money is going to be lower than they want to be. They will be able to buy out this round, but that third round, if they don't get this one, is going to be pretty much pistols.
Right. And I still think, though, that not going for that nuke was actually smart, because I feel like Dignitas is actually a really, really good nuke team, and nuke is always much more gambly than a Dust 2 here, but we can see that NiP's having like a really hard time here. Going to go for that cat boost there and see if they can actually pull something off here. We've seen Get Right do magic from Catwalk in previous moments in this match. Can he deliver again? And you can see how much presence they have on middle here. They can get some really nice setups going with flashes and smokes here. Can NiP, but they're going to fall back.
They've tried that boost a few times. They haven't found anything. And look, actually, they're both going to fall back to A. So Forrest is home alone at B right now, and Device and Dupree are both inside the tunnels. And that's where the bomb is as well. Carigan's just trying to sell things over at A. It seems they've done so successfully. He will drop down, but here comes the invitation as they work inside the B site. It's going to be all on Forrest. We've seen him do it before. He does get the first on Dupree. Device is there as well. Oh, he gets trapped in behind the car. He does still get one more. He switches over to the USP. Can he do it again?
Oh.
Another triple kill. Yes, he does.
Unbelievable.
Forrest, your clutch player. That's twice he's absolutely shut things down at B, and man, oh man, there's no question this guy is one of the most skillful players in the world.
But did you see like how calm he was there? Like he was just spraying like frantically, and then all of a sudden he's like, no, I'm just gonna start tapping now. I'm fine. Like there's 2-3 guys on my screen. I'm fine. Just start tapping.
And I thought when he fell behind the car, it might be detrimental. He didn't have a lot of movement space, but he just ducked down and took the cover to his advantage.
Yeah, he made that look way easier than it actually is. That's like the most awkward position when like people actually know that you're there. So mad props to Forrest.
I'll throw my economy theory out the window, because by winning that, it doesn't matter. As we do continue on in overtime, Dignitas trying to reset up. This time Freiburg's over to help out Forrest at B. Again, though, there's not a lot of presence in middle, but Forrest has pushed out through the double doors and will at least be there when they come through. We'll see if Dignitas chooses that plan of attack, and they will smoke off CT now, so I would expect that is going to be the case.
This could actually get quite dangerous, but you can see that they're just kind of toying with NiP right now. They're kind of looking to catch a rotation a little bit here. They're just throwing in some pressure. NiP are not taking the bait, though. They're holding their ground. It's just really patient play from them, as we are seeing Dignitas lining themselves up for a push any moment now. And once again, Get Right, surviving it long, taking his one-on-one is going to be key now if this push is to come in. Really nice setup here. Much stronger setup, not all reliant on Michael Elliott. Exist is there to help him out. Here he goes, misses the first shot as they come into the site. Goes for the second, misses again. Michael Elliott needs to connect something there, gets nothing. And now it's on Get Right and Exist to lock this down. Exist gets the first frag, gets eliminated, and Get Right's charging up from long, but it's a 3-on-3 now. It's 2-3. Bears down from Cat. This is looking all too disastrous here for the Swedes as they get gunned down. Freiburg coming in now, one-on-one. Carigan left on the bomb site. As Freiburg takes note of his position, and he comes. Goes for the duel. The spray comes out. Pistols coming out. Carigan just using the boxes perfectly right now, but Freiburg too strong, too fast, gets the defuse and saves NiP's bacon right there.
Well, overtime looked like it was in the control of Dignitas, but NiP claw back into it on the back of a great play by Forrest, and then Freiburg in that one-on-one. So now they have the advantage, but they've got to go back to T side, and it's been a long time since they were there, all the way back to the first half, almost 40-plus minutes ago. And Michael Ailey's going to have to be so strong again with that AWP on his entry kills, and the calls are going to have to be on point.
Yeah, so far on the CT, that's definitely been the weak part of the defense, which is uncommon, but it happens. And NiP now, that we saw that a pretty darn good T-half from them. So we'll have to see if they can keep the ball rolling here into this second half of overtime. Would be a really big result here for Dignitas, but as has been pointed out, Dignitas are no strangers to big performances in group stages. It's when they get deeper in the tournament is when they start to struggle, and Dignitas and NiP are the favorites of this group, absolutely. This group also featuring...
I'm going to come back at you as a North American caster and say
right.
Cloud9 and Dignitas are on equal footing right now. I honestly believe that if Cloud9 play to their ability, they can take down Dignitas. But we'll see. It's hard to say. I mean, it's all to play for. There's new rosters on both sides.
I would love to see that.
And, well, first we got to get past this game because it might not matter what their head-to-head is if NiP loses this one.
All right, here we go into the second half. Overtime one between Dignitas and NiP at the MLG X-Games here. The group play, the group play for Pool A. And so far we're going to see a pretty standard setup here from Dignitas. This is the kind of 3-2 setup that I was talking about. It's pretty standard here. Carigan going to go in for a bit of a peek, though. This could be very crucial if he spots the bomb. Carigan misses the shot, and Forest takes him down. And that's a really huge frag right there. They're going to queue off a rush from that. And in they come Device, completely blinded, going through the smoke, doesn't even know he's there. In onto the bomb site. NiP look good right now, but in reality, he's like, nobody's dying just yet.
How is Device still alive?
dupreeh just like haphazardly picks up an AWP in the middle of the gunfire.
Oh, they caught the bomb. They caught the bomb in upper tunnels. That was Zipnik, and now he's going to get Michael as well. So it started out so well for NiP getting that frag on B, but it doesn't matter because Dignitas, quick to rotate, catch them completely. Yeah, look, Exist is completely stunned by the fact that the bomb was that far behind, and I don't blame him. They should have had the site. They should have had the plant. That's a round given away.
I mean, his expression there, like completely beside himself, like that was so chaotic. I can really feel for him there. That looks really rough, and NiP looked really good to take that round. They got themselves into the site, but well, 17-17 now as they are tied up here, and things start to get increasingly interesting between these two sides. Once again, early map control here for NiP. As I would expect to see Freiberg looking for some entrance here, either on middle as the smoke goes away, or onto catwalk.
I think Carigan does have line of sight out a window down toward middle, though. Yeah, with that AWP, so they won't get easy access. They'll have to get the flashes out on him. That said, though, there's no one toward the CT side, so they would be able to focus their attention, but it doesn't matter. Carigan's already fallen off that position, and NiP's not there.
Freiberg actually just dropped his pistol. I think he did that as a sound cue to act like the bomb, so that they would actually throw a flash in or a nade, and then based on the trajectory of that nade, he could work out a position to try to find information. I think that's actually what he just did there.
Well, Michael not able to connect on Zipnik. Cajun B is actually pushed up there by the door as well, but having not found that pick, they'll give up on that attempt at A and re-rotate over toward the B side of the map where it's dupreeh and Carigan waiting, and as they come through middle, Carigan has gotten back up in a position. Michael still looking towards CT. One more step might be too much, but he does get Zipnik. Now Freiberg comes around, and Carigan's fallen back. dupreeh's going to come through the door, immediately gets taken down, so this round, if the last one wasn't looking really good for NiP, this one certainly does, as Device and Cajun B are the only two remaining. And Get Right's going to push forward and catch out on Cajun B, so Device all by his lonesome, 1v5, not likely going to happen.
Absolutely not, and that was I think the most textbook round I've seen from NiP there. Just Freiberg on short, kind of fact finding there, just trying to keep the pressure up a little bit, and then before going for the cat drop, all the players kind of set up already to make the movement. Michael looking for the entry, and really what they did there was capitalize on the kind of 3-2 setup that Dignitas had. With no crossfire middle, players like the mid to be there that can be really strong. So well done to NiP in that round.
And they've got match point facing them right now. We'll see what Dignitas can possibly do to shut them down. Michael again trying to pick through middle, not able to connect that time. We saw him pick off Device twice in the first round, or pardon me, in the first half, when he took that early shot, but not able to find it that time. Nade going out from Forest, pardon me, from Exist. dupreeh not really getting a lot of damage as they soar past him, and the shrapnel only catching a fragment of damage. Now that counter smoke will thwart any further possibility. Device, Cajun B still pushed up on A. Get Right all the way back in case they decide to push through and go for the flank. But Freiberg looks like he's going to get aggressive on catwalk and try and at least get an entry kill and open up something on the map. Yeah,
his role is so regimented. If you basically copy paste the last round and then put it on top of this, because Freiberg's basically doing exactly the same stuff, just like looking for the entries, just clearing out like close corners for spam, and then, you know, just fact finding there, trying to bait out grenades, and just try to like get some info for NiP, because there's certain spots where if you can get certain pieces of information, it makes the A split or the A play much stronger, or vice versa. Certain information makes the B play stronger. So that's what they're trying to find out here. But sometimes you don't get the information.
Important to note that Zipnik actually has rotated back toward A, and Cajun's changed his angle over toward the car. So they had an opportunity briefly to get up toward Catwalk, but they didn't take it. They're going to go back toward this mid to B. No smokes out just yet, but Carigan and Dupree are going to come under fire. Here they go. That smoke is out. Carigan's flashed off as well. They've got to hold it. Forrest is coming in from tunnels, but it's Freiberg who gets the first kill, making it a double now. Dupree drops, and GetRight's going to just sit here beside the box at CT and wait for players to come through. He definitely heard the first, and he will make quick work of Zipnik, so it looks like NiP, despite a close game, while not done yet, Device will get GetRight. Should pick up their first win in the group stages. A heck of an effort from Dignitas. What a game, and Michael Ailey is going to just add that final nail in the coffin as Cajun B, the only one left, and there it is. NiP close it out. They start off X-Games a little bit closer, and yeah, exist with a sigh of relief, a little bit closer than they wanted.